Welcome back.
We're back.
All right, so what's going on?
Yeah.
Um,
What is going on?
well, we're
Oh, I
about
love
to
these
take
songs.
thanks, Old Navy.
I love them.
We're getting ready for our big road trip. Adrian's getting ready.
Yeah.
I'm not. No, like literally, he's been packing for like the last week.
That's so
Like,
exciting.
literally,
We're so alike.
isn't it so weird?
It is so
We'll have
weird.
to
So
have
when will you start packing?
Oh, well, my order doesn't come until May 9th.
Oh,
And
God.
so we leave May 13th.
Oh, you would give me
No, but I'm like, look, let me get all of Antonio's things together.
Yeah, okay.
All his stuff is washed. I just need to sort everything to see what he has, if there's anything he needs. And most of my stuff is washed. I need to see what I have and what, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. He was like, I'm going to have this suitcase for daytime activities with my water stuff, hangout stuff, and then this suitcase is for nice stuff for going out to restaurants and this and
I
that.
love it.
I was like, all right, where's my suitcases now? He's a phenomenal packer.
Yeah.
But as far as like folding everything, it's nuts to see him go. And I just throw everything out when we get there because I try to be all nice and orderly, and then I'm like, I can't find anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we leave May 13th, and we probably won't be back till like June.
Oh my gosh.
13th
or something. It's a big.
Yeah.
This is nice. This is gonna be nice.
It's gonna be a long one. We're driving all the way down to Miami, so
I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that
for sure.
Yeah. Do you want to say your fave of the week?
My fave of the week. It's the fave of the week. Do you have yours? No.
Oh, you know what? I did get a really good massage. So I found a masseuse. Her name is Edna.
Oh.
She gets in there and I'm so sore.
Like that.
I am so sore. But I do a dip I can't do a massage without doing a deep tissue massage. Mm-hmm. And she will get to the nerve, like those knots, and you can feel them going and releasing. Yes.
I feel like my tightness now, like
yeah.
Oh, nice. Where? Or
Hand and Stone.
Not sponsored.
Yeah. Thank you, Edna.
My fave of the week. Oh, and I do have. Okay, so my fave of the week is Antonio got his first fitted hat.
Oh, he looks so cute.
And so,
oh my gosh.
y'all, anything about Adrian's that fitted hats are who he is. Yes. And so seeing like the little bitty hat on him is so cute.
It was
so that was fun
too.
Yeah. So, and he leaves it on for the most part. Sometimes he'll be like, but so that was my favorite of the week. Yeah. He got his first little fitted hat because we got him little ball caps, but his fitted hat, I was like, oh my God.
So different. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
So cute.
Do we want to get into my favorite?
Silent karaoke.
Everything's a song.
We need jingles.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Are you?
I have a really good one this year.
This year. All right.
Look. Okay.
Okay,
you ready? Oh shit! I don't remember how it starts. Okay, well I'm just gonna do the chorus.
It can be wherever, yeah. Oh, tonight. No.
Oh no. But it does kind of sound like that.
We are young.
It does kind of sound like that. Honestly, I can't think of any other part of the song other than that because we listen to it so much. The boys are obsessed with it. Okay, let me try to do.
Fail.
No, I feel
like I can like, but I don't know.
That's all I got.
Do y'all know? Oh, I'm trying to think where
You're gonna hear
me
me.
roar. That's a different song. Oh yeah, that is a different song. I think I was mixing the two songs. Yeah.
It's Katy Perry.
Yeah, no, it's definitely Katy Perry. Dang, did y'all get it before I did? Guys. Okay.
I gotta get more in depth next time.
No, it wasn't bad. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Well, I think today we're gonna get into the Big P.
The Big P is.
Sorry, how did I sing-songing everything?
I didn't mean to. Okay, the Big P. Dun dun dun. No, it's not funny. I think the coffee's kicking in. Okay, no, the Big P also can be referred to as the fourth trimester.
Mm-hmm. But we want to get into
postpartum.
Oh yeah. Well, what we were referring to is postpartum and things that people don't talk about that need to be talked about, and just bringing
light to it.
Yes.
And even though it's like it is a serious topic, but it shouldn't be like
where you're hiding it.
Yeah, be ashamed of it.
Yes.
And so maybe that's why we're a little lighthearted right now. But I think putting it out there is so important, and also bringing you guys with us so that we can share our experiences together, because everybody's experience is so different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why we did also ask people at community or primas, what advice they have for people currently going through postpartum.
Yeah.
And
we'll share those for sure.
Yeah.
We kind of just wanted to, because I think we're honestly still in it. I don't think it just lasts a certain amount of time. Like there's no timestamp that should be placed on it.
No.
I think everybody kind of takes it. I mean, it could be for lifetimes. I don't know. I know.
Yeah. I mean, they say it takes 2 years for your body
like
and
everything.
hormones,
yeah,
like your organs, everything on the inside, and your hormones to just kind of go back to normal, which they never are, because a woman's cycles just literally all the time, right?
Yeah.
And
so who is they?
Yeah.
Like, who are they?
Who are they? I'm sure some men.
With the anti-mating club.
The He-Man.
Woman haters. There we go. He-Man woman
No,
haters.
not woman haters though. But He-Man man haters.
Oh yeah, He-Man man haters.
She-Man, I don't know. But yeah, from that. But yeah, I mean, that's what they say. So even then, and you can be doing, I think, just fine, and then all of a sudden something happens and takes a turn. Like it's not just when you're fresh, because sometimes you might have those endorphins going from like meeting your baby, and you're like, oh, and then all of a sudden it's like,
yeah, for sure. So let's start there, like hospital. Coming out of that state of
wow, we're going home with this little human.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do all the preparation, and you don't know till you know.
Right.
And then especially with, I think, taking care of yourself, because not only are you having to take care of this tiny human, but you're also having to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
After going through childbirth.
Right.
Regardless of how you went through it.
Yeah.
It's a
still
whole thing.
That,
I mean,
is pretty, I'd say, traumatic maybe, but
it can be. Yeah.
Also, like what your body just went through, what you went through, many hours, days, just all of that. But also too, I will say, like being in the hospital and you have somebody checking in on you who are the nurses, like relying on them to be like, hey, did you take XYZ things, before it's been 4 hours that you're due. Going from that and then going home and being like, I need to write down my stuff. I need to make sure when I last took the pill and when I last ate. than the baby. Like all of these things now are being
on your own.
And
they, I mean, at least for me, they had everything in like a pamphlet type of thing and like in paperwork, and they just, all right, bye.
Send you on your way.
Yeah, and like there was not a lot of, this is what to expect. This is what you need to do. Like there was a little bit of like the care part, you know, like how to take care of yourself after having a vaginal delivery. But other than that, I mean, you just kind of felt like,
am I ready for this?
Yeah, do I have the things necessary?
Yeah.
To take care? Because I think you focus so much on things for the baby, but do you focus on things for yourself?
Yeah.
And then there's the other side of trying to be over prepared, I think, too, and stressing yourself out there.
Yeah.
I will say, take the adult diapers, like, to the hospital. I didn't, because I'm like, they have stuff there, blah, blah, but those mesh underwear that they give you, I
actually love them.
I hated those things because you gotta compile everything in there. I thought the mesh underwear had like the pad built into it.
Oh yeah,
they don't. It's a whole, I hate it. So I had Adrian bring the adult diapers to the thing because it was just easier, and then you could stack whatever you needed inside of there.
Right.
So yeah, different. I hated them, she loved them. So
them. Yeah,
I mean, and that's something that if you need them, you can go get. Like if you do love, you just happen to love them, you can wait, you know, until to make that decision if you do want the adult diapers.
Yeah,
I had them because I was trying to be prepared, but yeah, no, I lived in those things.
Yeah, no, I did love the diaper. Oh my god, I remember like being at Jaden's baseball game and being in the diaper and me thinking like, I'm really just out here like we're out here with the diaper on in public. Never thought I'd be doing that.
Yeah.
There we were.
There you are. Full circle moment.
Mm-hmm.
No shame.
No.
I mean, it's what you go through, you know, and if I feel like I was like trying to explain to Adrian beforehand, like, this is how it's gonna be. There's gonna be blood everywhere. Like because I didn't even know to the full extent. Like I thought it was gonna be super wild, but I don't know. Everybody's experience is different, but I felt there was a lot of people on social media that made it feel like my husband had to help me change and maybe, but that never happened. I mean, you had a C-section, so maybe yours is a little bit different, but he wasn't all up in my goodies, you know?
Yeah, same with him. He was not.
I mean, if I needed him to be, he would have, but I didn't need it. Like, I literally thought I was going to be like, I just can't do anything, but that wasn't the case, and that might be the case if you have a more traumatic.
Which I was going to say with the C-section, I think it depends on we're not medical professionals whatsoever, and I've been through 3 C-sections now, and I still to this day, like, each one of them had been completely different, but I know, like, being numb from here down, but if something were to happen when you are on the table and you do pass out, then that could be where you come to, and then you need them to be all in your business. But after the fact.
Well, like after, I think a lot of them made it seem like they were helping me with the diaper, and I don't know. If that's you, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, don't think that that's like going to happen, that you're gonna be like helpless. I guess see, like you're gonna be able to do stuff.
And I will say, so I had each of the babies at different hospital, both one hospital, and then the last hospital that I had it at, the hospital follow-up with Bella, I delivered at Methodist, and it was really, really good. Like it was just text messages that I'd get 3 days, 5 days after I left that was like, hey, are you feeling, answer 1 if you're feeling this, answer 2 if you're feeling this, and then I would answer it, okay, this is what you are experiencing. If you are not experiencing this, then maybe it's this. And then it would have like just a crazy amount of pages of text that I would go through. And this happened weekly until it was like, it would say, if you no longer want to receive our text, but I honestly, 3rd baby, and I still wanted to receive the text because I was like, remind me again why I'm like experiencing things like this. Or
that's really nice.
Maybe the lactation, if you need a lactation specialist, your baby should be experiencing blah, 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 blah. If they're not, maybe reach out to whatever unit. I don't know. I thought the hospital care this time around, I was like, okay, you can have my money.
5-star.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
No, I got a phone call just following up to see how I was doing, if I had any questions. And the only question I had was my feet were so swollen after, like, they were fine in the hospital, and then like day 3 of being home, all of a sudden my feet were like super duper swollen. Just felt like there was water inside of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not even like on my feet that much. Like, what's going on?
Right.
And so when they called, I was like, actually, am I supposed to be this swollen? Like, because I didn't even have that in pregnancy, like, unless I was walking a lot.
Right.
And they're like, oh, yeah, that's totally normal. Like, all, you know, the being on the IV and then having that epidural, all those fluids are just trying to find a place to go.
Oh, goodness.
And they're like, but if it goes after 2 weeks, then
be worried.
Call your doctor. Yeah. And I was like, oh, well, that would have been nice to know, like, when I'm leaving the hospital, like, if you experience this, it's okay. Because I was worried. I even had my sister bring her high blood pressure machine. I was like, is my blood pressure high? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
That's the follow-up I got. Which I appreciated the phone call. But yeah. Let's
also too, like, physically, I remember thinking every time I would like do this, I was wads of my hair was coming out.
Yeah. The hair loss is real.
Shedding season.
And I think one of my friends, she had a baby too, close to when I did, and she was a nurse, but she was like not stressing about the hair loss. Like, she's like, I have pictures of like me going bald, like, and hers did go pretty far in.
Yeah.
And she's like, but think about it, you go 9 months without losing any hair. And I was like, oh, I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize that I wasn't losing hair, like, because you don't.
Yeah.
That's why everybody's like, oh, your hair is thriving, during whatever. And so she's like, so think about all that time you didn't, and now you're all losing it at once. I was like, oh, that's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
It's just like a process, unfortunately, that you have to go through. I think some do get it really bad though. Mine are currently coming through here. That's why I do my little things down, because if not, then they're just like, I think it wants to come out curly.
They have a mind of it though.
And
they look like they're coming out curly.
Yeah. And so it looks like I haven't done, especially if it's like fresh hair, like washed hair, they're just doing their own thing. If it's a little greasy, I could tame them down. But yeah, no, the postpartum hair loss is real.
Yeah.
I didn't try anything though.
I didn't either.
I said I was going to do preventative measures like the rosemary oil. Didn't do it. But, I mean, it's growing back now. There was a time where I was filling it in with a little bit of powder because I love my hair up. I hate my hair down now. I just can't do it.
Well, they tug at it too. And
oh my God. And
my
I'm
hair's
so
never down.
Tender-headed. Like,
oh my God, you are.
So I'm like, stop it. Yeah, and now he's really discovered. So he'll be like, and then just pull like one little hair, and that hurts even more.
Bella will get these little baby hairs, and I'm like,
like, you got hair too, girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So that's like one part of just different changes that you're experiencing. Like, you're already experiencing your body changing again,
right?
You know, and now, you know, we add another physical element to it, losing your hair, which I feel like that's been more out there, like people sharing, like, oh my God, any help, like, and some do need, you know, a little extra love and care to the hair afterwards. But I think stressing about it also, like, can contribute to it.
I agree. Yeah.
But all normal.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's gonna grow back, but when it does, it's a little funky.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but yeah, your body, like, afterwards. So I had a faja that I had got for afterwards. It didn't fit right away. I tried like maybe day 2 postpartum, and it didn't fit. So I was like, oh man, like, damn it. But I had like the higher underwear, you know, I feel like just any compression, yes, it helps physically, like it helps your shape, whatever. But once the faja did fit, it just felt like everything was back together where it should be. And so I was walking, because I did when I was sitting for a while and then I would get up, I did feel like, I can't even remember how the feeling, but I remember it felt off.
whenever you
when I would walk, like when I would first get into walking.
I think I'm it so slowly. When you would get up after the fact to walk.
Yeah. Like just to walk to, I just had like a lot of soreness. I feel like I don't know, it was strange. I would get that because I had a vaginal delivery, but it was weird. I don't know. But when I put the faja on, it just felt like everything was together and I didn't have any of like loosey goosey. Yeah.
Okay, so I will say, I had a C-section all 3 times. I never once looked up what happens in a C-section. Never once. One, because I thought like, there's no way I can do it 3 times without something going wrong. Like that was my mentality going into number 3, where I was like, something's bound to happen, John. Like I can't risk it again for a 4th time. This is going to have to be the last time. And I never once knew what happened until now. I didn't know they take it out.
Yeah, literally everything comes out.
Everything. I had no idea.
And that's why, like, you handled it like a rock star every single time. Like, I don't understand.
No idea.
Like, yeah, it's
I think if I would have known that, now my body would have reacted differently. I don't know.
Maybe it's mental, but
I have no idea. But I did not know all of that went into it.
Yeah.
But I like recovery. Same thing was all 3 times. Like with Jaden, I had like the whatever stirry strips they put on the incision. I got an allergic reaction to them. An allergic reaction to them with Jaden, and I remember like being in so much pain. Like even the meds that they were giving me were really strong. I was like, and you're supposed to take them off before you leave the hospital. When I was taking them off, and I was like, John, like I can endure some pain, and I've endured some pain, but I don't know that I should be feeling what I'm feeling right now, and it burns. And it happened to be like the steri strips. Even to this day, I like will put on a Band-Aid, and if it stays on for too long, I will get like a
really,
yeah, and
like the adhesive, I guess, like the glue. Wow,
it was really weird. And the nurse was like, "Oh yeah, we need to get those off like now."
Yeah,
I don't know what they used to get off. I don't remember, but it hurt. So that was not fun. But I mean, just the after of coming home and like relying on the medicine to be able to get up and take the boys to do all the things, which I mean, I had John and Ika. Ika came over and stayed and helped a lot with it, but I feel like I was moving just at a slower pace.
And you were doing a lot though. Yeah. You were doing a lot.
It just took a little bit longer to get back into like jumping or doing things like that, especially with feeling like I would feel some things and I'd be like, that was a tug in the wrong way that I don't like, so I'm gonna not do that anymore, type of thing.
Yeah, it's all about listening to your body, like afterwards.
Yeah.
But I think just listening to your body and feeling like you need to slow down and actually slowing down, I think needs to happen sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
It's easier said than done.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think, and I meant to say this in a previous episode, but I'm gonna say it now, that there was like one thing that I saw, like if your first pregnancy, like this is if you plan to have another child, or if your family grows after that, but your first pregnancy, there's never going to be one like it, because this is the only time you have to be selfish and just completely embrace it, soak in it. And so like that's an advice to, like, if you're currently pregnant, I would say, because the next time you're gonna have to be chasing after somebody, and the third time you're gonna have to chase after 2. You don't have that time to just soak it all in. So if you are pregnant, soak it in now and be selfish. This is your last time to be selfish.
You're tired, take a nap. If you can.
If you can, just
uninterrupted,
take it all in. And so I think after, now postpartum, you have the child, like finding that time to take care of yourself is very, very important.
Limited.
And so just little things too. So I think one thing that made me feel better, but I did not do it as often as I should have, was getting ready for the day, and I still don't do that.
Yeah, I was really bad about that. That's also why I started getting the fake lashes, though, which I don't have them anymore. But I wanted to like feel like I was somewhat ready, and I felt like that with the lashes, that I didn't have to get actually ready.
Yeah. Yeah, but just
it makes you feel good.
It does. I mean, look good, feel good. It's a cliche thing, but it's true. Because the times that I did get ready, I never regretted it. You know,
that's true.
And so if you can, I feel like even on like a day that maybe you're just not feeling it, like just do a little something, like even just a little mascara, or just change it. For sure, try to change out of your PJs. Which I'm not the best at all the time either. If I'm just hanging out at home.
For sure.
But even if you get into another set of PJs, they say just switching like what you're wearing to bed makes a whole difference. In your mindset. And get cute PJs. I had a good time before I gave birth buying some new little PJ sets, because people are going to eventually come over, and and you want to be comfy but cute. And one thing, actually, like little PJs that had pockets, like the shorts that had pockets, or if you want a little moo that has pockets, that was always super nice. Because then you're carrying the baby, but you still have your phone there, like if you're gonna be stuck feeding them and you just want to scroll, I think PJs with pockets was cool.
The way to go. Yeah. And to piggyback off that, Amazon had some really cute like loosey goosey sets where it didn't feel constricted.
Oh yeah, you had those nice sets.
I freaking lived in those. I think I bought it in like 3 different colors. Honestly, should have kept them.
What'd you do with them?
I gave them to.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. Yeah. And then, everybody says it, sleeping when the baby sleeps. If it's your first, maybe a little more attainable to do.
Is it? Did you?
Not at the beginning. But then, because he was literally sleeping all the time. But no, like I did once he got like a little bit older and he was being a little more active. I don't know. And it wasn't like I wasn't sleeping at like 4 p.m., but like his first nap of the day, I would sleep in.
Try to do,
I was sleeping. I did start doing that, but I didn't not at the very beginning. But if you do, like, don't feel bad about it. Easier said than done, like a lot of things, but yeah.
I think sleep, the lack of sleep really, really takes a toll on that piece of life, because I just remember feeling like I was always like my gears were constantly going, where I felt like I couldn't stop and take a breather, which when Bella was born, the boys were at school, both of them, so it was a good like that those gears were able to stop, but I still felt like I couldn't nap or sleep whenever she slept, because it was still like things needed to get done, or I don't know. I wish I would have, now looking back.
That's why we're saying that's why like things are gonna get done when they get done. I mean, some stuff may take priority. We're not saying just don't do any household chores, right? It is nicer to get it done whenever nobody's bothering you and everybody's taken care of. But if you need the sleep, if you need the nap, don't feel guilty about taking that nap if you can. I think at the end of the day, because it's nice. When it doesn't have to be every day, but and if it is every day, power to ya. We love that.
I get those Z's. For us all.
For sure. But I think that's just I think that's the more like common stuff though that people hear, sleeping and just how you're gonna feel physically. But I think the mental side of it is part where people need to shed more light on. Postpartum depression.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety.
Yeah.
Those sometimes they come hand in hand, sometimes they're apart, and you don't know that you're experiencing it sometimes. Oh, and another one is postpartum rage. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
That's another thing, like, just everything just sets you off. And that's a part of your hormone, like, just, it's all part of it, you know? And it's like, if that's not your norm, but it's happening, like, it's unfortunately normal to feel that after. But yeah, I mean, I think I didn't really feel postpartum depression because I didn't feel like overly sad or anything like that. But I think how mine came out was not getting back to a like workout routine, because pregnancy, I was on it full throttle with Pilates. I loved it so much. And I loved going, and that's probably been like the most like active I had been since like college, consistently at least. I would go, we have our garage gym, and I would go through my lulls of working out, and then I'd take a break and go back in. But right before getting pregnant and all throughout pregnancy, I was super consistent with Pilates. And then he got here and I just stopped.
When do you find the time?
Yeah.
It's so hard
to, because before I was going early, super early, but then I got pregnant and I was tired. Then I would still go like 8 in the morning, sometimes 7:30, 9. But yeah, Adrian didn't take his paternity leave. And so even though he was working from home, it was still like, when. And then in the afternoon, I could have gone after like 4, you know, when he's done 5. But then I was like, do I want to make the drive? Do I want to go? Like,
right. And
so I just kept pushing it back further. There were some weekends that I did go, but I just like, was like, on the weekend, if I can sleep in, I wanted to sleep in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like 7.5 months that then we joined Lifetime. They have a daycare, and that's, I think, the key. Honestly, that makes it so much easier. But it was also a rut that I was in, and I wasn't thinking of making myself a priority in that sense. And I was fine at first. Like, I got to pre-pregnancy weight so fast without trying, but I was breastfeading. Then when I stopped, it's like it all just came back at once. It was insane. Which I had been advised like that would happen if I didn't start working out before consistently. Right. And I was like, that's not true. Like, I feel good. I feel great. And they were not lying. Like, it happened. Like, clothes that fit me right after, like shorts and stuff, stopped. And I was like, and it felt like it was overnight. But of course, it was after a while too. But I do think that played a big part of it. Like, had I been in even going for walks, I would go for a walk, but I wasn't consistent. I didn't do it all the time. And I think that's where my postpartum, I don't know if it's depression, maybe not, that I was in a rut of myself, like within myself.
And I think, like, I was just going into some of those things, because when you're saying it, I'm thinking of like my excuses in my head at the times that those were happening. And it was always like, what am I going to wear to go to work out? Like, nothing's fitting me. So why would I even put something on to go do that? Like, that's the last thing that I want to worry about. Same thing for the walk. Like, what do I want to wear? I want to feel good when I'm walking, but I don't feel good because nothing's fitting me. So what am I going to actually do? But I will say, I think putting the word depression is always so like the stigma around it. But I think that it's hard to label it as that, especially, let's say now having 3 kids, because I can't not feel okay. I can't not be fine with what we're doing, because it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be like, you're supposed to be being able to be there for John like I am for Bella, and for spreading myself. It's almost like you're spreading yourself so thin that it's hard to like.
You're pouring in everybody else's cup,
Yes.
and so you're not fighting that to put back into yourself.
Yes.
Like I don't have the time to feel
right.
sad or feel
Yes.
down on myself because
Right.
I'm so preoccupied with everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it like the more you add on, I feel like, because with John I felt it, but I think it was for different circumstances, because we had moved and I was out of my, like, I couldn't rely on friends, I couldn't rely on family, so that was a completely different experience than with Jaden, with Bella. But I think I was in tune with all of that with Jaden and Bella, that I made sure that those lines of communication were not down after the fact, or like I just made sure. I remember the feeling of not having friends around with John, or friends that were even having kids. And now, you as my prima now having a kid, it was different whenever it was the first one and not many people around you are having kids, where it feels like you don't know, you can't put like words to what you're feeling. But now that it's being talked about more, it's like, sure, like I was feeling that.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah. And if it is like, I think also you don't want to bring it up to the doctors, or you don't want to say like, man, I am feeling this, because you feel like maybe you're being weak,
Yeah.
and you're like, I can handle this, but sometimes, you may not be able to.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay to be upfront and honest, if not with anybody, with your doctor.
For sure.
And get, medication or whatever it is that you need. And it's okay if you need medication to deal with the feelings that you're having, because I think at the end of the day, it's temporary.
Yes.
Yes. And it doesn't make you any less than. And so, yeah,
I think it's okay to feel not okay. But I think that also stems from like what we saw in our parents or our moms, and how they handled their, experiences with postpartum. And maybe like us, like I feel like I do myself sweep it under the rug sometimes for like certain things that it's easier to just do that because I still have to keep going for the other kids. Like it's not just.
Yeah, I think we were brought up not only like in the Hispanic household, but I think as a generation of like our parents' generation, they were taught to like mental health wasn't at the forefront. And it was just like, yeah, you're gonna experience hard times, but you're gonna get through it. Like, just keep going.
Yeah.
And I think, I didn't experience my mom postpartum because I was her last kid.
Yeah.
But, just seeing, even just the comparison of like, my mom had 3 kids. She worked, she cooked dinner every single night. The house was always spotless. It was just seeing that and compared, and even before having a child, I was not all those things. Like the house is never spotless.
Right.
And I'm just like, how does she have the energy?
Yeah.
And I think even having that in the back of our heads is like, we can do it. We got to do it. Our moms are doing it. Our moms did it. Like, we got to keep going.
Yep.
And yes, in a sense, you do have to keep going, but you still got to take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
And so advocating for yourself, is so important, because, you're the only one that knows what you're feeling.
Yeah.
And and especially, talk to, I think even opening up a conversation with like a friend or your cousin who's gone through it or going through it will open that door to have those conversations, because maybe not one or the other want to have it before.
Yeah.
Because I remember you asked, hey, are you feeling this? Or, have you experienced that? Even though it's my first one, and, we kind of talked it out a little bit, but, and I think, and also don't get discouraged if you're feeling that, but the other person isn't.
Right.
Because everybody's different.
Yeah.
And each time around can be different too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think those are some things, I think, physical, mental wise, to kind of.
Do you want to talk about your realization?
Yeah. So, I guess pre-kids, we always said we didn't want our lives to change with a kid. Like, but that was more of like we talked about traveling and going out to sporting events and, you know, going to restaurants and not slowing down on that side of things. But it wasn't like the little stuff that we didn't even know what to expect at that time because we didn't know. So
Right.
we talked about those conversations. And anytime he or I got invited anywhere, it was always a check in like, hey, so and so invited me to do this. Or do we have anything going on?
Yeah.
And I would be like, no, that's cool. He would never ask me for permission, like, can I do this with my friends or can I? But it was like a mutual check in. Do we have anything going on? Respectful for one another's like plans that we have, right?
Yeah.
So that was that before we had kids. Then there was this one day where, you know, I think 1 or 2 months postpartum, I'm not sure. 2 months, I think. Antonio was 2 months old. And this is where he was always a really good sleeper, but his naps were starting to get sparse.
Dwindling.
Yeah. And so it was a hard day of not getting him to be able to nap. And he had a friend from out of state come over and he met Antonio for the first time and they were hanging out. And then it was time for Antonio to try to take a nap. So I'm in the nursery with him. And he comes and he's like, hey, we're going to go grab some lunch. And then he did ask if I wanted something. And I was like, yeah, sure. And so this was a day that that it was a Friday, and we had already had a conversation because that evening he was going to have a diaper party to go to for a friend. And that Saturday morning I had showings all day, starting like I had to leave the house at like 7:30 a.m. because it was across town.
Yeah.
And so I had already told him, I was like, look, I know you have the diaper party, but I need you to do the night shift because I want to be refreshed. I want to sleep. I want to be ready to go.
Yeah.
Because I was already having to wake up even earlier to pump before I left. Ugh. And so we had that conversation and he was like, yeah, that's cool. Diaper party started like at 7. So I'm like, well, he can definitely be home by at least 11:30, you know, have his time, whatever. So now he's like, this friend, it was impromptu, just drop in friend, you know, he was in town, came through. And so he left for lunch, which was fine, right? But now I'm looking at the clock and it's like they leave maybe about 4:30 and they weren't going too far, but now it's 5:30 and then it's 6 and I'm like, where is he? Yeah. Like, what's going on? And already when he had left, I was like, damn, like he just left without having to think who's gonna watch the baby. Does she gonna, you know? And not that it was a problem because I would probably be doing the bulk of it anyway, but I had this like realization that I was like, I won't ever be able to just leave like that within myself, like without my head running a million miles an hour. Do I have to pump?
Yeah. Do I need to?
Are the bottles washed? Is this ready to go? Does he need this? Does he need that? You know, just be like, peace out, you got him.
Yeah.
And leave because I feel like mom brains don't work that way.
Not at all.
And can I go and leave him with his dad?
Yeah.
Yes. But just to be like, all right, bye.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll never be able to do that again. Like, just a quick, you know? And so that realization like really hit like hard that day. And I was like, wow, as much as we've always talked about, I don't want things to change, blah, 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 everything changed in that aspect. And that one, it took a toll, I think. I got really emotional. And then I'm seeing the clock going by and I'm like, damn, he's not back yet. And in my head, I was like, he needs to get to that diaper party on time, not late, so that he can be home at the time that we discussed so that I can get my rest and I can go work the next morning. And that kind of all just boiled up, you know? And then, I mean, when he got home and I was mad, I was in a mood, more so because of everything leading up to him potentially not being home. When he said,
actual act.
Yeah. Like the realization hit hard and it was one thing, but it's like, it is what it is.
Well, and I think that realization, along with others, because that's going to continue happening all throughout motherhood, it just falls in your plate, unfortunately. But it could lead to another, I think, resentment. And I think we would kind of go through like spurts of that where I think more so in the earlier days of each of them whenever they were younger, but it was almost just like a tit for tat type of thing. And it shouldn't ever be like that. Like, hey, I did this, I did this, I did this today. Well, what are you going to do? And that can like slowly lead up to resentment. And I felt it because he would bring up to me like, hey, this is turning into something that like it shouldn't be, and it's all because I'm not like voicing what it is that needs to be done, or like maybe I didn't say like, hey, that pissed me off that you walked, that you were able to go and do that without checking in, because we got to make sure that the boys are taken care of, blah, 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 blah. Like it was just, those conversations were so hard to have that it could build to be,
it can
accumulate over just so many.
The snowball effect.
Yes.
And so because I mean he saw that I was upset, but he thought I was upset for another reason.
Right.
And it was hard to voice in that moment. I don't know if I did tell him in that moment. I don't think I did that. No, I'm upset because, or I had this realization. It was so easy for you to just leave.
Yeah.
And we've had that conversation later, like, it's just be considerate.
Yeah.
I think that's the word, like, of my time. Like,
right.
I'm never gonna say no, not never, but most of the time it's gonna be like, yeah, in this again,
go.
not like, yeah, go. You like, he doesn't ask my permission, and I don't ask his, but is it cool? Do you got it handled?
Right. Can I help with something before?
Exactly.
Can I, like, how can I help?
Yeah.
Before I
do whatever it is. Yeah. Because I want to be able to go out and do the things that I want to do as well, right? So I'm like, it's just not a dynamic that we've ever had, that asking for permission. But now it's just like, are you good?
Yeah.
Check in. Now the check in is even more important, you know, because we're not checking in about plans. We're checking in. Do you got it? Are you good? Like, and so, and we've gotten better because but multiple conversations had to be had about that.
Yeah.
About him just realizing it is way different for the woman or the mom than it is for the dad.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
And so, that was something that I think took a toll.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we did want to, we had posted the question box on our Instagram about different advice that each of you would give other primas that were going through it or going to go through it. We did want to share some of those. So thank you for submitting that advice. I like this one.
Oh, yeah.
Be gentle to yourself. It took 9 months to build a baby, and allow your body time to heal.
Yeah, that's important. So I do think being pregnant and then afterwards, it did help me have grace within myself. Not everybody gets like that though. No. I won't lie. I'm so hard on myself. I would like, on the average, on the typical, like, without being pregnant, I'm always like, self-conscious about weight or like this or that or how I look in certain clothes. And pregnancy, I was great.
Yeah.
Like, I was all good. But then after I was still like, of course, your body looks totally different. And mentally it's like a thing. And like I said earlier, it took me a while to get back into the workout routine. I'm still a little, there's things that I see and I'm not like happy about it, but I am realizing that I am having more grace within myself.
Yeah.
And I think I'm very fortunate to feel that way the first time around. And so I think it is hard seeing, like you were talking about, going and not wanting to be in something cute because you don't feel cute.
Yeah.
But having that grace and knowing that you're gonna, work to get there. And even just if your body doesn't go back to how it was before,
it's not supposed to. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
You will be like, just
realizing that.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And just even if it's just going, because like we've said, you're a workout girly. I love working out, but I don't, it's not something that I have to do to feel happy about.
Yeah.
Like, but it does make me feel happier when I do it.
Yeah.
And even if it's just going for a walk.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like walking is like the best thing you can do, period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you're not
just getting outside.
Yeah, getting outside, doing it for your mental more than physical, and then the physical will come.
Absolutely.
I think.
Absolutely.
With that. But yeah, give yourself grace. I mean, it's important.
Don't be afraid to ask for help and let people help.
Yeah. I did not.
It's not that it's hard to, but it's almost like I'm inconveniencing them if I ask for help.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah, no, I got to the now. So yeah, my mom, she wanted to be there for me. She stayed the night, but like there wasn't much because I was breastfeeding and there wasn't much that she could do, but there was stuff that she could have done. She, I would see her sweeping or this or that, and I'd be like, Mom, it's okay, it's okay. She's like, No, I'm good. And I don't know why it was so hard for me to let her do that.
Yeah.
I guess because it was my house. I felt like it's my responsibility. But she wanted to, like, they want to help.
Yeah.
Whoever it is that's offering the help, they want to help.
Yeah.
And so I think now, like, if there's people that come over family wise and they start washing dishes, I let them. I let them. Like, I'm like, if you're helping clean up and like, all right. I used to be like, no, it's okay. Yeah. But now I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, you want to do that? Go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Meal prep, food train. I'm not a meal prepper. I don't trust my meals to send to other people, so I do the DoorDash all the way. But the food train, I never did it for either one of them, and I wish I would have.
How does that even get started?
Yeah, who starts it?
Do you know? No,
somebody starts it,
but somebody. I think somebody. Because I don't know if you technically do it for yourself. I mean, you could, but I think they just like pick different days, right? Like,
I know the ones that I've done for that I just send them DoorDash. They like somebody in their tribe of people sends out like, hey, setting this up for so and so. Would you like to sign up for a day and time? And they send like a sign up genius type of thing, and we'll send out like days, nights, mornings, like all of the things. I think I just felt too with 3 kids, like I feel bad asking people to feed my whole family type of thing. But at the end of the day, I think it goes back to like feeding yourself, maybe being more aware of that than they're not asking to feed my family.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah, but yeah, if there's somebody that wants to do that for you, let them.
Yeah.
Meal prepping, some people prep like frozen meals and put it in their freezer, which is amazing. I had all intentions on doing so and I did not.
Yeah.
Or just, I feel like even if you ask like your mom, your sister, your sister-in-law, your cousin, have like hey, could you make prep this one meal and I'm gonna freeze it for when baby gets here? I think people would be more than happy to do that. If you just ask. And like,
those are the amazing people that did bring freezer meals. Like, you are a godsend during those times, because that's the last thing that I wanted to do. So I'm not a cooker, but for those people that did, I think they're amazing people.
Yeah.
I wish I could be more like you. Setting your boundaries.
Ooh, this is a
hospital home visitations from family and friends.
This is a good one. I do think being upfront about it is important, and you and your partner have to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Y'all can't be like, at the end of the day, it's what you want as the mom. It's what you want, and your partner better respect it. And because, especially when it comes to like their family, they have to be the ones to speak out.
Yeah.
I didn't have any boundaries, but there were days where I was tired. I don't know. I'm very different, I guess. I don't know. And it's the first one. So I think with this one, Antonio was the first grandbaby from my husband's side.
Yeah.
And I think it is different whenever it's your daughter-in-law having a baby versus like your own.
Right.
And so I felt like I wanted to have them included as much as I can. And because I'm pretty blessed with great in-laws that they respect our boundaries all the time. Yeah. Like they're not invasive, they're not in our business. And so I wanted to have them included. They were all there at the hospital, like waiting for him to be born.
Yeah.
They were all there the next day. But I knew that if I said I didn't feel good and I don't want it, they would have respected it. Absolutely. But if you have those that are not, then those are conversations
that's your say.
that you have to have before.
Put your foot down. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, they were, after that, everybody came, even my family, his family, like they alternated, like every week they were at our house every weekend. Yeah. They would bring food. That was amazing. But sometimes it turned into like a party and I was just like
not
tired. And you feel rude. Right. You don't want to like, I need to go, And like you said, like if you're breastfeeding,
you can just pop it out. Like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to go in the room? I'm going to go in the room and do what I need to do.
Yeah. And that happened sometimes and the party continued, you know, but it can be a lot. So I would say like have those conversations up front.
Yeah.
Or if it's not something that have it right then and there, but your partner needs to help you out with that conversation.
And it could change. Like you might be open to having all of these visitors come with you to the hospital and then or come and see you at the hospital, but maybe after the fact it changes and that's totally fine. I think whoever it is that you're talking to needs to respect that choice that you have, whether it be in their favor or not. But even like, let's say I did not know what to expect. I'm somebody that did not have kids and I'm going and wanting to visit you. I don't know what to ask, what to not ask, what to expect. So it's almost like you have to set those boundaries for them so they know like, hey, I'd rather if you can come earlier in the day than later in the day, but then I don't have any time. Like there's no timing schedule made. So I don't know. Just show up when you show up. Yeah. Hopefully I'm put together. If not, come as you are. And this don't judge.
Don't judge. And don't get offended if they say like I don't want family. Or I don't want visitors. I'm sorry, I don't want visitors. Send this to somebody who you think needs to hear this.
It ain't about you at the moment.
It's not.
Yeah. Don't make it
about set your boundaries. And have your partner step up with those boundaries too.
Get some cojones. Follow your intuitions.
Yeah. You're a mom and there may be certain things that how you want to do things and that's okay. If it's different from how your mom, your grandma, my family was.
Your best friend, your friend.
They're appalled that I didn't warm my baby's bottles. Like they just, and I told Adrian, I was like, look, whenever I found out I was pregnant, I was like, this is one thing that I want to see if they're okay without having the bottle warmed. Yeah. Like my mom thought you had to warm, and you don't. PSA, you don't have to do it. So I'm like, let's just see how he does because this is something that you're getting them accustomed to. If you just start warming it up right off the bat, now they have portable bottle warmers, but it's like, do you want to do that every time? Not. No. So I was like, we're gonna try this, and I was like, my mom's gonna have fit.
She's warm. Oh, I guess coffee.
But I like my iced coffee. But yeah, I was like, I was totally prepared for my mom to like just be so just thrown off and just call me like, wow, how dare you? But she understood after I explained it, and thankfully he wasn't like a colicky baby. If he had like acid reflux or was colicky or something, then I would have tried to warm the bottle. Don't get me wrong, but he's taken that thing straight out the fridge since he was an itty bitty baby until now. Like now he's on formula, so it's just room temp. But that was an example of like, this is what I want to do, and we're gonna roll with it.
Gonna tell me different.
Yeah. And you can take advice. Use it at your discretion.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what another thing. Take advice, but at the end of the day, it is you and your husband and what values and expectations you have.
Yeah, because it's y'all's family that you're raising. Y'all are deciding how to raise this little baby child.
Yeah. Losing yourself in motherhood.
Very easy to do.
I agree. Sorry. I will say, like, I feel like a part of being pregnant and like becoming a mom is almost like grieving who you were and to now accepting a new version of yourself, but knowing that that version of yourself is still becoming an even better version of yourself through each season of month. I mean, even throughout the months, like just that baby is only 0 to 3 months for 3 months, and then it goes on to the next thing, and the baby's learning new things, and a new version of you is learning as that baby learns those things. It's just like, I don't know. It's easy to do. Yeah. It's easy to lose yourself in thinking like that's going to last for so much longer than it does, but it doesn't. It's only that like short season of motherhood, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because that kid's only going to be reliant on you for so long, maybe. Is that what
yeah, I guess so. I don't know what I'm
but I feel like as far as like, I mean, especially if you're new to motherhood, like this is something to embrace. So I feel like losing yourself is so easy because it just all becomes about the baby.
Yeah.
And so when this says like losing yourself in motherhood, I think it is okay. And then it's also, you got to realize you're still you. And this goes back to, I guess, a previous episode that, finding your me time and making sure, I think at the end of the day, make sure you are taken care of is the most important thing. But yeah, I mean, it's only natural that you're going to embrace the motherly role, the mom role.
Yeah.
Your Instagram just turns into theirs. Mm-hmm. That happens.
Yeah.
But just realize like you're still you, and friends they're still them, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's me, Jessica. I'm in here.
I love that. Do you know what movie that's from?
Yeah. The girl, the guy with the curly hair, he turns into the girl.
The hot chick.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Feeling frustrated is okay.
That baby's just crying and crying and crying. Or
it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's okay to take a step back.
Yeah.
Like, whether it be because, and it's okay to feel frustrated with the baby because they don't want to sleep, or that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to have, like, if they're crying, it's okay to let them cry. Or take a step out, let them cry. Like, they're fed, their diapers changed.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just gotta cry just like we do.
Yeah.
Or if you're frustrated with your partner, like we've already talked about, all those feelings are okay to feel.
Yeah.
And be in those feelings and then keep it trucking.
The last one. Say something kind to yourself every day.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't do that, but no, but it's nice, especially on the days where you're feeling a little sad.
Yeah. What are those things that like people do in the mirror?
Oh, affirmations.
I don't do that either, but I do know one. Do you know what movie it's from? You is kind.
Oh,
you is smart. You is important.
Oh yeah, important. Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adrian does it with Antonio in the mirror. He does to Antonio though. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. But no, it is like, even if you're not saying it, write it down. Mm-hmm. Have the thought. Mm-hmm. Like 100 things can go wrong, but I know you did one good thing today.
One good thing.
Yeah. So that's important.
Yeah.
Did we touch everything?
I don't know. Goodness.
Ooh, yeah, I'm telling you, I need it.
You need Edna. Yeah, I think here's the thing. Nobody, again, I think I said this the last time. Nobody knows what they're doing. And nobody's doing it right. Nobody's doing it wrong. Nobody's doing it it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be just has to be in a way that you feel like is right for you, and however that may be, just, I don't know, take it day by day, and don't be afraid to ask for help, or like I don't know what could, the fear, I don't know,
what could
or
prevent
the
you from
embarrassment that
yeah.
could come
And
from
I
it.
think that goes back to a previous episode about mom guilt, like
Yeah.
feeling like we're not good moms because
Ooh,
we need that help, or
Yeah.
because we need a break, or
Yeah.
you know, and it's just realizing that this is another season that will pass.
Yeah.
You're gonna get through it.
Yeah.
And you hopefully you have those people that you can rely on.
Yeah.
Some are more fortunate than others, for sure, but you know, I mean, just reach out to whoever you think.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a friend that hasn't checked in on you, or you know, they don't know, you know, if they don't have kids, maybe they don't know. And so maybe just taking that initiative, even if you just want them to come over and be a part of the chaos.
I feel like just taking the, like, literally getting in the car and feeling that like breath of freedom is an instant like release and relief.
I mean, we need to do this in the car the next time.
I mean, can I get some
me time? Yeah. But no, I mean, postpartum looks different for everybody.
Ooh, I love that. We should start it with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah.
But no, it does look different for everybody. And so just how we were talking about, once you're a mom, don't compare yourself to anybody. Don't compare your journey to anybody else's journey. There's hard days, and everybody has a hard day. That doesn't mean, just because they're not sharing it doesn't mean they're, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And you know, it doesn't, well, and also I guess we didn't really get too far into postpartum anxiety, but what that is like always feeling this anxiousness, especially about like the baby, like maybe worrying.
Yeah.
If you're overly worried, and it's natural to be worried.
Absolutely.
I mean, there was a few times
don't Google.
No, don't Google. There was a few times in like the hospital, because Antonio did not cry not once in the hospital.
Yeah.
It was a little scary.
Yeah.
That we'd be like, you okay? Like, I think he was just so traumatized by everything that happened that he was just exhausted. Yeah. But like, you know, that you're new as a fresh baby, things are gonna happen. But if you're overly worried and constantly like just thinking the worst possible thing, that's called postpartum anxiety. Yeah. And that's also something that you can talk to your doctor about to get help, because just having that, I mean, I've had anxiety when Adrian is driving. Not because he's a bad driver, but I don't know what it had been at, like, just this feeling, this anxious feeling that I've never felt before.
After Antonio?
No. Before. Like, it just came out of nowhere. I don't know why. I've never been in an accident with him. He's always been a good driver. Like, but it's just, this car's close. But they're not. And I feel it. Yeah. That's the closest I could feel to anxiety, I think, as far as, like, feeling that emotion. Yeah. But knowing that people can have that feeling with a non-physical thing, like just thinking about things. Yeah. Like, having a physical response to, like, a mental thought, I guess, is anxiety. And I didn't know what that was until, like, that all of a sudden surfaced pre-Antonio. But, like, if you're having that anxiousness, like, that could take a physical toll on your body. So if you're feeling constantly worried, you know, that's something that you need to talk about, because I don't want to say it's not normal, because it is normal. People have those thoughts. But if it's overly, that it's something that, you know, you can get help with, like, and it's okay if you need that. So you don't want to live in that constant state of just, I don't know, feeling like something's going to go wrong. Overly wrong. But yeah, everybody handles their journey differently. Everybody's journey is different.
I wore this shirt in hopes of bringing some sort of
smile
to talking about what is not talked about too often.
And I'm sure there's 1,000 more topics that we didn't hit, but and we might, you know, if there's things that you want us to go more in depth about, let us know. We are not trying to have like 2-hour long episodes, but you know, we can do different parts.
Yeah.
And
we're here too. Like, we're your primas.
Yeah, send us a message.
Yeah.
If there's questions that you don't want to put in the comments, but you have a question, or we're not doctors, but she's gone through it 3 times. I've gone through it once. Like, we might be able to help or
try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just if you just need a vent too.
Yeah.
I think that's something also that needs to be said. Like,
let's talk about it. Just get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay to yeah. Have that.
And sometimes I tell Adrian, I'm like, look, I just need to say it. Yeah. Don't say anything, which I also need to do better at sometimes, you know, but like, just let me get it out. Yeah. I don't want a solution. Yeah. Just let me get it out. Yeah. And then we can talk about solutions. But yeah, sometimes you just need a vent. Yeah. All right, Primas. Until next time. Yeah. You're doing great. Just remember you're doing great. Yes, you are. All right. Comment, like, subscribe. No, but until next time. Yeah. Just keep swimming. Bye, Primas.